Hello and welcome to day 2 of our 14-day road trip across America's amusement parks. In this episode we visit Six Flags Great Escape in upstate New York. I'll share my thoughts and feelings on how we found this park. I'll go over the benefits of our Six Flags season pass and how it will become handy for visiting future parks on this trip. There's also more driving, a classic American rest stop, oversized ice creams, and of course another terrible motel. All this and more coming up in day 2 of our summer 2024 amusement park road trip. Hey, this is Stu for Out and Back Travel. I make videos like this one in the hopes it can help inspire your own theme park adventures. If you do enjoy the video or you find it helpful in some way, please help me out on YouTube by smashing that like button. Thank you very much. You join us then on day 2 of our 2-week road trip visiting an amusement park each day. We started in Boston Airport, stopped off at Six Flags New England along the way, to last night's motel lodgings on Big Boom Road in Queensbury. So we're just 10 minutes away from our park for the day, which is the Great Escape. We arrived at 10:30 AM and joined the queue to get through to security, and this looked worse than it turned out to be. Once they opened the gates, it moved really quickly. Today the park was open from 11 AM till 6 PM, so we had a relatively short 7 hours to get everything done. There's 5 available credits plus 1 kids cred, which is forbidden unless you have kids. And our admission today was made possible using our Six Flags Diamond Season Pass, which is the top level of season pass available. When we bought our season passes back at the start of 2024, this was the only level of pass that included entry to all Six Flags parks, so it kind of forced our hand to go for the most expensive one. It includes preferred parking, and when standard parking can be somewhere between $30 to $40, it can be a real saving each time to have the parking included. We also got nice perks like 15% discount off food and merchandise inside the park, 4 vouchers for one-time flash passes, an unlimited drinks cup that could be used at all the parks, and our own dedicated admission lane, seen here on the left. All in all, the pass was great value. We paid £115.76, which is not bad at all considering how much we're going to use this pass over the next 2 weeks. Buying the pass through Six Flags Great Escape meant we saved a tiny bit of money, as it's $20 cheaper when compared to getting the same pass from Great Adventure. Not a huge saving, but a saving nonetheless. So that was one of the reasons why we wanted to start the road trip at Great Escape. Although we were able to sneak an extra visit into Six Flags New England the day before. That's the benefits of the passes now being digital inside your app. You don't need to have your physical card to use it, although you'll have to wait till you get to your home park to print the actual card. The day started with Bobcat. It was the official opening day for this brand new family wooden coaster. I've got a separate episode about that, which I'll leave a link below, and save you listening to me repeating myself again. It's a great fit for this park and a fun coaster for all. We tried to ride the boomerang, which was broken, so we headed up the hillside to the top of the park. It's actually quite a climb. This park has a little secret mountain in it. The Adirondack Outlaw is the fun time booster, and it was a priority for us to get on this fairly early. As it only seated a few people, we anticipated it could have a long queue that could take a while to move. However, we found that the queue moved really quickly, mainly because a lot of folks were chickening out, which is in truth why it did move up so quickly. A lot of people left the line when they saw what the ride did, so it's obviously scaring the general audience, so the queue wasn't too bad at all. At 164 foot tall, but being located on the peak of the park, it does give you incredible views across the region, and the scenery is completely gorgeous, especially when you're upside down at 50 miles an hour. It is one of the craziest booster rides I've done, and thanks to this great setting, it could be one of the best ones I've done. It's also nice, this ride's included in the park admission, it's not a separate upcharge, which is quite uncommon for this type of ride. So a fantastic addition to Great Escape, probably the best ride of the day. Steaming Demon, or Steaming something else more like, is an arrow loop and corkscrew coaster. Thankfully a one train wait, definitely a one and done. Canyon Blaster is an arrow mine train. I didn't think you could go wrong with a mine train, but clearly you can. It was only running one train, so it was a painful 3 train wait for it to complete the circuit. Just bland and janky, sadly not fun. We really struggled to get on Comet as it opened a bit later than the rest of the park and seemed to break a lot. When we finally did get to ride, we got stuck on the lift for 10 minutes. But we eventually got going and the ride is great. Some lovely air time. It's just a big classic wooden coaster. What you're kind of expecting from the ride, it delivers. A great ride for the park. Inside this asbestos dome is Blizzard, an enclosed scrambler ride in the dark. This went somehow really impossibly fast. It was actually quite thrilling, but it took ages to get on this one. Definitely one of the longer waits of the day, but worth it, a fab ride. We also took a trip on the cable car ride. This had a strict enforced no photography policy. Even on your phone, you're just not allowed to get any loose articles out for safety. That's understandable, but it's a bit of a shame that you can't take any photography on this scenic ride. The log flume was closed, so sadly we missed out on that, and we also missed the swan boats, which I get are quite a quintessential part of the Great Escape, but the queue was just too much. With the relatively short operating hours, we really actually struggled to get on everything in this park. It was a bit stressful. 5 minutes before the park closed, we joined the line for the boomerang. However, due to a guest illness or a protein spill or a rainbow yawn, whatever you want to call it, the ride went down at closing time. The ride-ups were making announcements to go try other rides, which wasn't much use as the park had closed, but as they had to wait for somebody to come and clean the car. It was actually a vocal guest at the front of the line that bargained with the staff to actually just run it. He was like, fuck it, let's go. And the team members agreed. So we all got on the boomerang, tentatively avoiding the car with the sick in it. So thankfully we completed the set of available credits for the day. The park is built around the old Storytown USA, a charming set of fairy tales and Wild West town buildings for kids to play in, and that was still being enjoyed today, just like this enchanted smoking area. This makes it unique from other Six Flags parks, and I think this is where the charm comes from. Before visiting this park, I anticipated we'd need about half a day, quickly drop in, ride the creds, and then leave. However, I wasn't expecting to be held hostage by the rides going down, and also the charm of the park. It was lovely to be here and spend time, I can't deny that. So it did take us all day to complete the park. It really is a unique Six Flags park. There's literally like 3 rides that are good, but somehow the charm shines through, and I would revisit. I like this park a lot. One of the main reasons why I would return is actually located right next door. At the end of the parking lot, you'll find Martha's Dandee Creme. This is an ice cream takeaway and also a burger grill that has been open for about 77 years, serving ridiculous sized ice cream treats. I went for a raspberry Dole Whip and vanilla soft serve twist, absolutely fantastic. Very Insta-worthy treats here. Again, you have quite a lot of flavour options, about kind of around 20-ish different flavours of soft serve. There's also jumping fountains and a big cock, which you know I can't resist. Because this used to be a chicken farm, of course, get your minds out the gutter. Onwards to Buffalo, our hotel was just a short 4 hours and 40 minutes. That's 296 miles away. Oh, the joys of America. That's the thing about driving in America, it really is huge. I mean, back home in the UK, that kind of length of drive would take us the whole length of our country. The hotel in Buffalo was just 30 minutes from the American side of Niagara Falls, and I had originally penciled in to go and visit this. But due to the later opening at Great Escape and the fact we spent all day there and we went for ice cream, meant we had to cancel these plans, which is fine. We've been to Niagara Falls before, but if you're going, maybe put some time into the route from Niagara Falls. You're also passing right by Seabreeze Amusement Park. That would have added just 30 minutes to the drive and is home to some classic roller coasters. This is what driving in America is actually really like. Look at these horrible sat-nav instructions. The next instruction is coming up in just a smidge of 242 miles. Not long at all, eh? In all seriousness, you do have quite long straight sections of highway, automatic gears. It's definitely a change from driving in Europe, so it's always handy to have extra drivers to share that burden. One of the great places to stop and change drivers is a rest area, and we pull into this one. Generally in the rest area you find parking, toilets and a vending machine, and that's it. These were always a big part of our American road trips because there were so many of them, but it seems that actually real service plazas are becoming more abundant and are replacing the rest areas. So this was the only rest area we stopped at along our whole trip, and the rest of the stops were all at service stations. Our tour of America's finest dumpster fire motels continued with a stay at the FairBridge Inn & Express Buffalo Airport Williamsville. This motel was filthy. Shit and dust out the back of the beds and the bedside cabinet. Literally shit on the walls. And a picture of Niagara Falls to remind you that you're nowhere near Niagara Falls. And this lovely charming balcony area. As always, you get what you pay for. We paid $90 a night for this hotel, which worked out at £73 per room, so I can't complain about that. I do have some nicer hotels coming up, I promise. When you're doing a big 2-week road trip and you have to think about paying for a new hotel every night, that cost can quickly spiral. So to keep the cost down, we made a conscious decision to stay at some cheaper places. So we went in with the expectation that these might not be that great. It's up to you though. When you're planning a trip, you may want to think about these experiences and opt for a nicer place like a Hilton or something, so you're guaranteed to have a nice room. So coming up in the next episode, we'll be taking the half-an-hour drive to Darien Lake, another Six Flags park, and that's the first time I've been to this park. We'll be riding unicorns and discovering why Predator is the best advert for Tyson Track. If you have any road trip planning questions, please leave them in the comments below. And remember guys, until next time, stay safe on the way out and back.